Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 2023 NFL season. This is the J&J Sports Express. I'm your host, Jeff Cadillac, again, and with my co-host for the season, JB Ellis. JB, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing very good. Excited. Here we are, Wednesday, right before the big Thursday of the week one of the NFL season. It's amazing. Time flies. Everybody's waiting for these moments. Everybody's waiting for somebody's phone is ringing.
It's you know what? Everyone's
What?
excited for the season. The phone's going off. Everything's happening.
I know. Everybody's calling. Everybody's wondering who we are going to pick this week. So let's get right to game one. Thursday night, Detroit is plus 6.5, or you could say the Chiefs are at home. They're laying 6.5 at versus the Lions. JB, what do you like in this game?
So everyone's on the Lions this year. You know, they say that the people are taking them to go to the Super Bowl. Way too much expectations. The one issue I have, the Chiefs are on the road. I don't think they're going to cover. They're going to win, but I'm thinking more about a 3-point victory here.
You mean the Chiefs? The Chiefs are at home, my friend. You just said the Chiefs are on the road.
See, look at that. I'm messing up already. It's preseason for us.
No, it's preseason for you, my friend. You got to get with the program. And that's the J&J Sports Express, my friend. So it's Chiefs. Lions are at the Chiefs, minus 6.5 Chiefs.
Right.
So
the way I look at it, though, the Chiefs are going to win. They're outright winners, but it's going to be a field goal. Mahomes doesn't usually cover. Kelsey's injured. His knee is hyperextended.
Well, as of right now, he's doubtful, it was moved to questionable for this game. But I'm counting that to be on the safe side, he'll probably be out for this game. But you also have to remember, Chris Jones is out, your defensive tackle. That's big on the line. He was a big factor in this game. Now, the Lions can't afford, let me tell you something, folks. The Lions can't afford to get off to a 1-6 record like they did last season and start playing catch-up in the NFC North. You don't have Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers there, but you do have still Minnesota, and they can't afford to do that. If they played like they did, Detroit will be in the mix this year. They have to start out strong, stay in the mix, and they will do well. I happen to agree with you. I think there's going to be a close game, and the Chiefs do not play. They win at home, but they don't cover at home.
Not at all. That's the one problem they had.
If folks follow me, I'll tell you, I wrote an article for sportskita.com last season, and a whole article was dedicated to the fact that Kansas City is not a good bet at home against the spread. If you're playing the money line, hey, you're laughing all the way to the bank. But if you're laying points, you're in the loss column there. You're in the losers column. So I definitely like the Lions here. I think it's a closer game. Maybe even look for the upset. Lions can't afford, again, to start the season 1-6. And if they lose big this game, if it's a close game and they lose, you still can walk away with some good things. If you lose this game big, Detroit really has to, wonder what's going on.
Absolutely not. This is game one of the season. They're going up against the Chiefs, which are, the best team in the AFC. If they get blown out by 30, it's just one game.
Right, but you still have to wonder what's going on. If you get blown out by 30, it means your whole game plan was wrong. And you really have to take a look in the mirror and see what's going on. It's not –
This is the NFL. This isn't high school where you lose one game and you start to panic. These guys take one game at a time.
You just have to look and see what there's a lot to fix if it's a blowout. That's how I see it. We can agree to disagree.
We definitely can. But either way, we agree that the Chiefs win, but the Lions cover. So we actually agree on that, which is surprising.
Okay. The second game that we're looking at is San Francisco at Pittsburgh. San Francisco is a favorite on the road. They're laying 2.5 at the Steelers. JB, who you like?
Because it's 2.5, I'm going to take the 49ers. They're they have so much talent on offense. There's so many weapons, and their defense is still one of the top-rated defenses in the NFL. Steelers are a great team, great coach. They find ways. Pickett came on at the end of last year. It's going to be a great game to watch. When it's all said and done, there's too many weapons in that San Francisco offense, and that defense is too good. So the 2.5 is enticing. If it was 3.5, I'd worry because they're on the road. They're coming all the way across the country to Pittsburgh. But at 2.5, 49ers are going 1-0. They're going to win by a field goal. Easy choice.
Well, I am always wondering, how's Brock Purdy's elbow? How's it going to hold up in a full game? He was injured last year, didn't look good. He had surgery in the offseason. Things take time to heal. The Steelers, a lot of people always say, oh, they're old. Mike Tomlin doesn't know what he's doing. They surprise people. They always play tough. He always gets them up. They started out slow last year also, and they ended up with a winning record. This game, San Francisco might not be taking them too seriously. They might be looking at them and they might be looking down the road a little bit. So I happen to like Pittsburgh in this game at home because to win on the road and be a favorite, it's not that easy. Kenny Pickett is at a second year to run training camp. They brought in a few other tools for him. You got Watt on the defense. Defense always comes up. The offensive line for San Francisco is one of the things that I've always worried about. That's one of the things. If Purdy has enough time, if he's pressured, we'll see what's happened. Because now also Purdy, if he's healthy, he's had a good full training camp to really go over a lot of things. He's able to look at things a lot differently because he is the starter. There's nobody looking over his shoulder. Trey Lance is gone. You got Jimmy G is gone. So there's nobody that Brock Purdy has to worry about. He's there, and he's, the man. Pittsburgh, we'll see what happens. Pittsburgh always plays tough. I'll tell you something. They rarely get blown out. I don't see this game being blown out. I could actually see it, this game ending up with a field goal at the end. Whoever's got the ball at the end and kicks that field goal is going to win. A lot of people looking at Pittsburgh saying, they're not that good. Steelers should, kick their 49ers should kick their butt. First game of the season, I'm telling you, the trend usually is that you could see certain things in week one that will go on for the rest of the season. And I like Pittsburgh here, 2.5. I'd love them more if it was 3.5, but I'll take the 2.5 because I think the Steelers, they might even surprise people and win this game.
So my question to you with that is, right, if you're saying Pittsburgh and it's only 2.5, so you obviously feel that they have a good chance of winning this game.
Yeah.
With the line being that low.
Week one, there's a lot of surprises that go on. It's not always, people look at these games and say, oh, yeah, all the favorites are going to win and everything. It never happens. And the fact of the matter is that last year, the dogs won 29 more times than the favorites. It was it's wild. And a lot of home dogs covered last season. It's a wild kind of thing. And I think it might even continue here.
So you follow those trends with the home dogs covering and everything. With that, was there a line, for example, under 4 points, above 6 points, where you noticed or you didn't look that deep into it? Because that would be fascinating.
You know what? It depends so much on the teams playing that you never know. I mean, Houston, let's put it this way. Houston was a terrible team last year. They went 3-14. Okay? But against the spread, they were 8-1, which tells you that a lot of games they were in it to the end. There was only a few games where they really got blown out. And so it depends. You never know what's going on until you're actually in the locker room with these teams.
No, I agree with you completely with that. I don't think that you could figure out what's in the locker room. But my thinking, as I said, there's too many weapons. Tomlin's a great coach. He does phenomenal with whoever he has there. And Pickett's a decent quarterback. I don't think he's, good, Joe Burrow or a Herbert type, but he's solid. He can
He
lead a
got
team
better as the season went along, and
without a doubt.
and that game against Baltimore, he showed a lot of grit in the last minute. A lot of people probably forget last season that game against Baltimore. He won that game with like few seconds left. He drove down the field like 90 yards, and he was able to get a score. In Baltimore, Lamar Jackson wasn't out there, but the defense was, and they gave up a lot. And that's why, that's why they play the game. Sometimes people see things in the film room that you might not see on the field just yet. But I like the Steelers at home, I like the Steelers at home in this game.
That's interesting because that means you kind of think that they have a shot for an upset with such a low point spread in it.
Well, it wouldn't be an upset if it's just a 2.5 point spread. If it's like a 7 or 8 or 9, that's an upset.
It's still a dog.
Right, but it's not that big of an upset if it's only less than 3 points.
An upset's an upset. When a dog wins, it's an upset. I mean, I'm not saying it's a huge upset.
No, some games are like +1, +2. That's not an upset. That's because if it was an upset, they would have had the 49ers would have been favored by like 6 or 7. If they're so much better, they would have been favored by 6 or 7. Look, Tampa Bay last year went to the Steelers, and they were favored by 8 at the Steelers. Steelers ended up winning the game. That's a big upset.
Yeah, I didn't say big upset or little upset. An upset is when a dog wins, in my opinion. You could have your opinion. Not wrong with that.
Okay.
But either.
We're going to the third game of the week 1 is at 4:00 on Sunday. It's Miami at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are the home team. They're laying 3. What do you like, JB?
So I definitely like the Dolphins here. Chargers, they still have the problem of their head coach. Until they fix that in a close game against a team that's somewhat equally matched, I don't care how much better the quarterback is. The defenses could be similar, but when it's all said and done, they don't have a better coach. And in a close game, I can't see them pulling it out. I think the Dolphins go on the road and actually pull off the upset and win by about 6 to 7 points.
Well, I like Miami in this game because it's a revenge game. They played at the Chargers last year in Week 14, and Chargers beat them 23-17. So there's always a revenge factor in the NFL. Teams get to think about this kind of thing. Tua, as long as he's healthy, the Dolphins will be moving forward. He took a lot of hits last year. He had some concussions. Not a good thing. Chargers, the coach is terrible. Brandon Staley is a terrible coach. He makes decisions on the field that you just have to shake your head, and he personally takes them out of the game at times. So that's a problem. And I like Miami. They've added a few players. I want to see some stars this weekend that we could talk about next week. We'll see what happens. Chargers have a great team on paper. Can they stay healthy? That's one of the problems. You got a lot of guys.
It's been a huge problem the last couple of years. Williams has been hurt. Their receiver core in general, I mean,
Eckler.
Last year they were finding people to play receiver. Guyton got hurt. Williams got hurt. Yeah. Everybody was hurt.
A lot of people, and people don't come back. Bosa was hurt. You got a lot of people, people don't realize that first game back in the NFL when they're playing they're not at full strength. The first game back, a guy is never full strength, no matter what position he plays, whether it's quarterback, whether it's cornerback, whether it's running back, defensive end, no matter what. He is not full strength that first game. Everybody wants, he's back. Right. That first game, they try to ease him in, even if it's the quarterback.
And the speed of the game is just so quick in the NFL. It takes time to get readjusted to it.
Right. And I do like Miami. Miami has to get off to a nice, strong start here. They have the possibility to beat the Chargers because if it comes down to a decision by Brandon Staley, I could tell you he's going to make the wrong decision. He's going to go for it on like a 4th and 2, and some stupid play is going to come through. They're not going to make it, and they're going to lose the game. And that's basically what it comes down to.
Exactly how I see it. To me, they're kind of evenly matched. Herbert's definitely a better quarterback, but Tua, as long as he's healthy, is in the same class as Herbert, even though Herbert's a little bit better. The wide receivers for Miami are much better. The defenses, it's a toss up. They're both really good. It's going to come down to special teams play and coaching. And there's a clear winner in coaching. So that's why if I'm putting money down, I'm going to go with the Dolphins all day.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins in this game. I think they're going to win outright. I think they're going to go at the Chargers and they're going to just score. And again, Brandon Staley is not the coach that I think that could take this team long term to any type of Super Bowl. I just don't see it.
And that was a great point that you made about the revenge game. I mean, I think NFL players, they won't admit to it publicly, but it's in the back of their mind when they lose to somebody that they want to go out there and win.
Oh, they've said it publicly sometimes. They know it's a revenge factor. They know it's, the last time a team like maybe embarrassed them or said, whoa, we beat them and everything. There's nothing they know. Believe me, these guys know. It's on their minds. It's not a big secret. So the fact is that they lost last year when they should have won. That is on their minds this year. And the Chargers are really, the pressure is on them because they have the players. It's about staying healthy and making the right decisions of their head coach.
Especially coming back after that horrible loss in Jacksonville, where they fell asleep after going out to a huge lead. So, I mean, they have so much more pressure on them to perform and to erase that from everybody's mind.
That loss against Jacksonville, that was disaster.
Yeah,
that was a disaster.
Everything's there for them to implode, and I think it's going to be an ugly year for them.
I don't see them. First of all, in that division in the AFC West, the Raiders are going nowhere. Josh McDaniel is a terrible coach. You already got players who say they're not going to be there on Sunday. You got Chandler Jones, who's already publicly said he's not going to be in the game. So, the Raiders are not going to be a factor in the AFC West. Okay. Josh Jacobs didn't get the deal he wanted. He's playing on a 1-year deal. He's frustrated. You got the Chiefs, we all know, are going to be good. That's not a problem. Everybody's chasing the Chiefs in that. The Chargers, they could be terrible. Denver's going to be on a bounce back after, having the worst season they had last year in a long time. They're going to be a lot better with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. The defense, a lot of people don't realize in Denver, that defense was solid. It was the offense that was the problem.
Yes, it was.
The offense couldn't score from the 1-yard line, like if nobody was on the field. That's how bad they were. The defense really kept them in games. And if you look at the schedule that they played last year and you look at some of the losses, it wasn't that close. I mean, it was very close to being a win, but that was the problem. But the Chargers in this division, I could actually see them finishing third. I see them finishing above the Raiders. I see them finishing below Denver and then Kansas City. That's where I think
you're spot on. We agree a lot tonight, except for the Steelers 49ers. We've been on the same page, so I'm impressed. I see you've done your studying.
Oh, look who's look.
As if you don't ever study, but no, I mean,
I'm the stat man. You can, people know they can check out my website as of tomorrow. All the games will be up. I show all the stats, everything from my website. So, hey, I do my homework. But anyway,
let's get away from the pretty boys. So let's get to some real football.
Yeah, Sunday night football. Dallas at the Giants. Cowboys are the favorite on the road, laying 3.5. I already know who you're going to go with, but I'll let you say who you're going to go with.
I want to hear who you think I'm going with, because I'm going to shock you.
You're going with the Cowboys.
You're correct. I thought you were going to say the Giants, because
when you started to say it like that, I knew you were going Cowboys.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Giant fan.
Why are you going with the Cowboys?
First of all, I'm a Giant fan, but doing this, you have to be objective. The Cowboys are still a better team. The Giants had a phenomenal year last year. to me, this is a show me year because we saw this last time they had a new head coach. I think Dable is a very good head coach. We still have Daniel Jones at quarterback, and he's the long term answer. That doesn't make me very happy. I don't think that's enough to win games. Have they gotten better from last year? I don't know. I don't know if they've improved, and they didn't beat the Cowboys last year. The Cowboys, on paper, are a better team. The Cowboy defense stifles the Giants' offense last year, and it's pretty much the same this year with the same pieces. The Giant offense hasn't really improved. Waller as tight end, I think, is going to help the Giant offense, but not enough to overcome the Cowboy defense. And then when you look at the other side of the ball, the Giant defense, they're better than they were 2 years ago, but I have to see them perform where they did last year, and I don't know if they're after what happened last time. I don't know if I'm buying in yet. I think long term, Dable's a great choice as a coach, and I think that the franchise is going in the right direction, but they're not better than the Cowboys right now. Right now the division's very simple. It's the Eagles are by far the best. Every Cowboy fan says they're going to win the Super Bowl, which they're not, and they're second. We're the third best team, and then you got the Washington, whatever they're going to be called, in the basement. But it's just the way it breaks down, and the Cowboys are just better. And 3.5, it could be 7. I would think the Cowboys are still going to cover.
Well, here's where, believe it or not, Giant fans are going to love me on this one. I actually like the Giants in this game, and I'll tell you why. In the last 12 games, yes, Dallas has beaten the Giants 11 times and only lost once. Against the spread, Dallas is 9-3 in those games. The Giants are due. Everybody's looking at me going, this guy is crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But if you follow me, you know what I'm talking about. Because the Giants are an improving team. They're upwardly mobile. Daniel Jones and Brian Daboll have to show everybody that last year wasn't a fluke. You can put together a good season in the NFL, as we all know, the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2017. They rode all the way to the championship game, and then all of a sudden they forgot what happened, and they went back to being bad. But Brian Daboll is of a different animal. I think he will take this team to higher. They're not ready for the Super Bowl. No way. Giants are still not there yet. I like the addition of Darren Waller. I like the fact that Barkley is back in camp. He's got something to prove. This team is going to be motivated. And the Giants are going to – and Daboll is a guy that can pull out all the stops and different plays that you don't usually see in the playbook. And that's what he has to do to surprise the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. Yes, they beat the Giants twice last year. They've also in the last 11 times that they opened together, Cowboys have won 10 times. Right. I could give you all the stats that are in the Cowboys' favor. But at home on Sunday night, Brian Daboll has to show the world that this is not the same old Giants. And Daniel Jones has to show everybody why he's getting the money he is. He has to play smart. And I would not be afraid that if Daniel Jones stinks it up, Brian Daboll's the kind of guy that will pull him. He'll put Tyrod Taylor in there. He doesn't. He said, "Listen, I don't care if you're getting the money. You're not going to be starting if you're going to be playing like this." Guys are going to be motivated. Last year at this time, they were playing at Tennessee, and I liked Tennessee in Game 1 last year. What happened? Giants beat them. Giants really look good. I'm telling you right now, Giants are going to play a safe game. They're going to play a safe game. No turnovers. Turnovers in this game forget it. You cannot give the Cowboys any opportunities. But Dak Prescott, remember, he's his own worst enemy. He makes mistakes when he's not even touched. He has a problem with accuracy, and he has a problem with reading defenses. And if the defense of the Giants can show him something he hasn't seen, he will make mistakes. And that's what I see happening on Sunday night. Giants are going to shock the world, baby, and they're going to beat the Cowboys on Sunday night.
As a Giant fan, I hope you're right. As a bettor, I disagree with you completely. But that's why we do this.
Okay. Then we move to the Monday night football game. We're back in the Meadowlands. You got the Bills -2.5 at the Jets. Who do you like here?
We're finally going to see Aaron Rodgers in a regular season game outside of Green Bay. And when the Jets lose by a touchdown, he's going to understand what the New York media is like. Because the New York media is not like what it was in Green Bay. he is going to get asked tons of questions as to why they lost the game. And when he makes a mistake, which he doesn't usually do, but the Bills will force him to make one, it's going to change the game. Now, the Jets do have a very good defense. Their offense is a million times better. I want to see him with Dalvin Cook. I like the fact that they got him. I think that was a great move to take some of the pressure off of Rodgers. But right now, the team in the NFC East is the Bills. And
AFC East.
Yes, AFC East. I have to see the Jets show me something. I don't foresee this happening all year. I see the Jets falling on their face. And I think the line's only 2.5 because there's a lot of money on the Jets that Vegas is going to be appreciative of Tuesday morning.
Well, I have to disagree with you on this one. First of all, you got no Von Miller on defense for the Bills. That's a big hole sitting right there. He's going to be out minimum first 4 games. Bills defense, completely different without him. Second, Buffalo has always had a tough road with the Jets. Last year, they had a tough road. This year, they have a tough road. Josh Allen is just not comfortable against the Jets. For some reason, it's a tough game, and he plays it like a rookie. He makes mistakes against the Jets. He doesn't read what they're coming at him with, and it's a very tough game. Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh, the head coach, they have to have a good game here. They have to show everybody we have the tools, we have what it takes, we have to start winning. No excuses. The Jets are going to win this game by at least a touchdown. I feel that this game has to show everybody that they spent a lot of money in the offseason. They brought Rodgers in for a reason. If Rodgers can't get it done, he has Dalvin Cook behind him. He's got other guys to throw to. He's got tight ends. The defense is solid. The Jets are going to have a good game. They have to show everybody that they're pumped up and ready to go. And I like the Jets here on Monday night.
So just to review all our picks, I'm going to put them up for everyone to see so we have, who had what. But we disagree 3 times. So with Jeff, you have the Lions, Steelers, Dolphins, Giants, and Jets. Now, Giants and Jets alone being from New York, we both are.
Doesn't matter. No, you don't try to bias my picks at all.
Because I'm not biasing your picks. I'm just saying when they both perform well on a single Sunday is amazing. That hasn't happened in decades.
Well, this weekend it's going to happen.
I'm not saying that biased your pick. I'm prefacing that they both don't usually play well together.
I'm not biased by anything that happens, whether a fan of any team or it does.
I know that.
It has no bearing on how I analyze the games.
Hang on. I wasn't implying you were biased. I was implying you being from New York know how the 2 teams play, and they don't play well together. So that should be an expert on. And then I have the Lions, 49ers, Dolphins, Cowboys, and Bills. So that's the breakdown of the week's picks. We'll see next week how we did. We're going to do a special segment this season for the suicide pool people. How this works with the suicide pool, you pick 1 team per week. You can't reuse the team. There's no point spread. So once you pick a team, say, for example, you took Kansas City this week, that's it for the rest of the season. So we're going to help you out with your suicide picks as well. Jeff, you're going to pick first. Pick your team and why.
I like Jacksonville over Indianapolis. I think Jacksonville's going to go into Indianapolis, pick up where they left off last season. And Indianapolis, with their new quarterback, from Florida. Anthony Richardson, correct. Thank you. I don't think his problem is accuracy. They threw him into the fire. Indianapolis is just bad. They're doing running back by committee because Taylor's not in there. He's going to be eating dirt a lot this weekend. I like Jacksonville straight up over Indianapolis.
That's a great choice. The only reason I didn't pick Jacksonville, there's 2 rules I have when I do a suicide pool, because every time I've gotten knocked out, it's because I've had to do something I didn't want to do. I never take a road team, and I don't take division games, because division games are always toss-ups, although I don't think you're wrong. I think Jacksonville's going to destroy Indianapolis because of Richardson the first time playing. As you said, he has issues with accuracy, so I think that's a great choice if you're going to take a division game. Week 1 is always the hardest week because the preseason nowadays is so watered down. You don't know what to expect out of teams. But this week, I'm going to be a little off the wall, and I'm going to take the Washington Commanders. Reason being, I'm never going to use them again because they're not a very good team. But this may be the one time they're playing a team that is even worse, a team that is tanking. I don't even know who their quarterback is this week.
Josh Dobbs.
Yes. So, I mean, they're running Josh Dobbs out at quarterback. The team just doesn't look good. They're going to RFK. I can't see them pulling out that win. To me, week one's always the toughest. The safe pick to me would be Baltimore, but I could use Baltimore later in the season, which is why I don't want to take them now. So that's why I'm trying to be a little different. I'm going to go with Washington. But it's interesting to see if he can get past the first week because the Commanders are not a safe team, although they have one of the highest point spreads of the week. What's your thoughts on that pick, Jeff?
I like them because Arizona doesn't have a quarterback right now.
Yeah.
So if Washington can't beat a team without a quarterback, they're in trouble.
That's the only reason why. And I'm like, when am I going to use them the rest of the season? So it's kind of like, to me, it's like a free week if I can get a win out of them. You know, I don't waste Kansas City. I don't waste Buffalo. Not that they have easy games, but once you use them, they're done. So, but that's basically, where can people find you, Jeff?
This season, it's a little bit limited. It's on my website and here on Sideline Sports. You know, things popping up. Last year, you could find me 5 different places. Now you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Sideline Sports. You can find me, as usual, on my website at jeffcadillac.com. And hopefully on some radio shows if I'm guest spots with doing football games. It just got things got shortened this year.
Listen, people don't understand talent when they see it. Don't worry about it. You'll be on many more things, I'm sure. But follow me, JB_ the program on Twitter. I'll be on the South Florida Sports Exchange in about an hour and a half. No Confidential this week. We're celebrating the Cubs sweep of the Giants by taking the night off. And we got football tomorrow, Sideline Sports on Tuesday. Till next week, this is the J&J Sports Express. We'll see you then.
See you next week.